Yes, hello, welcome back to WCJ Online TV. As usual, this is the #1 online channel bringing stories of different people from different parts of the country and bringing the reality of the world today. And as you can see, we are in a dairy setup today. Like we told you before, tunaenda BUKURA Agricultural College and we are going to gather all the projects over there. So saizi tuko kwa dairy project and niko na sijui nimwite dairy manager ama nini atajiintroduce. Then over here pia niko na another questionnaire interview atanisaidia kuuliza maswali for the places zenye maybe sitakuwa nimecapture questions. Hello.
Okay, karibu sana BUKURA Agriculture College. My name is David Wafula. I'm in charge production.
Sawa, introduction.
Hello, I'm Ezekiel Nyongesa, a student of BUKURA Agricultural College. Welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. So tunataka tu maybe you take us through the processes involved in a dairy production. Is set up yote. Of course, we won't touch the management and financial issues juu ini. This is an institution. So maybe the dairy processes maybe I don't know tuanza na wapi ni wao to guide.
Okay. Kwa hii factory yetu mainly umepata kama tumemaliza shughuli lakini we normally receive our milk from this door. Then this is the place where we carry out what we call platform test. Platform test are simple tests zenye sina confirm ya kwamba maziwa it's of good quality for processing. So after platform test, we carry our milk to this one cylindrical tank. It is called a bulk cooler. This one, and the other one is also a bulk cooler. That big one, and this semicircle is also a bulk cooler. So immediately after we receive our milk, we chill our milk to maintain the quality.
Also after chilling, you said that's the chilling tank.
This is a chilling tank. You can call it a bulk cooler, but it's a chilling tank. This one is a capacity of 500. That one is for 3,200, and that semicircle is for around 1,500 liters capacity. So if we have little milk, we use the smaller one. If our capacity increases, we go for the other one. And if we have more trade, we use the semicircular one.
Okay, so milk should be maybe chilled up to which percentage or degrees?
So we need to maintain a decrease of around 8 to 4 degrees centigrade. Yeah.
Why should it be around there, 8 to 4 degrees Celsius?
So we advise when you receive milk, always it's at room temperature. And at room temperature, there is high microbial activities or high multiplication of bacteria in that milk. If you leave at that temperature, that milk will spoil within a short period of time. So to maintain the quality, the one you have received, and you have justified that milk is of good quality, to maintain, you need to stop all those activities of bacteria. And to stop activities of bacteria, you need to reduce the temperature so that you make those bacteria inactive, be it useful or harmful, before you pasteurize.
Okay, so from chilling, where do we go to next?
So after chilling, you can start processing your milk. And processing means pasteurization. Okay. So we have these 3 cylindrical tanks. These are our pasteurizers. So after you have collected enough milk, you have chilled, and you want to start to make your own product, you have to pasteurize. So you pump that milk through those centrifugal pumps into these pasteurizers. Then you start the process.
Okay, so how does pasteurization take place maybe? So
if you see this pasteurizer, zimetengenezwa in a way that it has gadget. Inside we have water inside, and we have heaters. So inside that water, if you can come this side, you can see we have those heaters. Those heaters are inside water. So they heat the water, then that water hits the surface of milk inside, then the milk starts to boil or get pasteurized.
So at what temperatures there is boil, maybe rising, the most temperature yenye inafaa kufika, then at what time do you cool it again?
So it will depend on which product are you making. Okay. If it is yogurt, we do pasteurize that milk up to 80 to 85. then we hold for 30 minutes. If it is pasteurized milk, we pasteurize up to 72 degrees, then we cool immediately. Then if it is cheese, you can raise up to 30, up to 35, up to 63. So it will depend with what kind of product are you making.
Why does it vary maybe according to the product that you are making?
So like yogurt, you need to destroy all pathogenic microorganisms, all natural inhibitors, and some harmful bacteria. So harmful bacteria like other bacteria like brucellosis, they are mostly killed slightly above 63. So you need to make sure that when you pasteurize milk, it should go beyond 63. Then we have others that goes beyond up to 70 before you destroy, like natural inhibitors, like enzyme that can inhibit fermentation. So the most appropriate time is above 80 and less than 95. So you should range between 80 to 95, in between, so that you make sure that milk is safe. It's 99.9% free from harmful bacteria. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe after pasteurization, what's next?
So after pasteurization, it will depend. If it is pasteurized, you immediately cool it to temperature like 8 to 4, chilling temperature, so that you minimize any microbial activity in that milk before you sell or whatever. If it is yogurt, you need to cool up to inoculation temperature. Then you add whatever useful bacteria you want to add. Then you incubate. Then from incubation, you can age. Then at the end, you will have your product.
You can tell us what is the inoculation temperature required?
So inoculation temperature for yogurt, it is around 38 to 45, optimum 43. That's the appropriate temperature for multiplication of bacteria. If you introduce those bacteria like thermophilic bacteria, when they get that atmosphere of around 45, that's the conducive environment for cell division of those bacteria. So they feel the environment is so much comfortable for multiplication of those bacteria. So they multiply, they break lactose into lactic acid, so the milk goes on fermenting by increasing lactic acid in milk.
So maybe you can tell us, the yogurt, do you make them inside this tank, or maybe there's somewhere you transfer the milk?
We have several ways to make yogurt. You can pasteurize your milk in these tanks, then cool using the same tank to inoculation temperature, but you can transfer that milk to small tanks like the other one, like such a cans. That's the cans you can now inoculate inside and leave somewhere in an incubation room to ferment. Like those ones, we transferred milk after pasteurization. We cool to inoculation temperature, we inoculate it, then we have placed it there to ferment. So those bacteria, they are now breaking lactose into lactic acid, so that milk is fermenting.
So like the cans there have milk?
Yes, they have milk. So that milk is fermenting, and the duration takes 3 to 6 hours.
We might want to know again the ingredients maybe that you use to make your yogurt.
So we have several ingredients. One, you need to have sugar. Two, you need to have starch. Then you need to have those bacteria called thermophilic bacteria. Those are yogurt ones, but when you are preparing mala, you need to have mesophilic. Then you need to have pectin and gelatin. Those are stabilizers. Yeah.
I think the machines that we've not touched on is like this one. What is this machine and what is it used for?
I think you heard me talking about pasteurized milk. This one is a pouch packaging machine. Its work is to package pasteurized milk in pouches, in small pouches. But at the moment, it's not working. Yeah.
So how do you package your milk now that it's not working?
So for now, BUKURA Agriculture College, it's just selling in big quantities, pasteurized in big quantities. We are not packaging since our machine is not working. We sell in bulk. We sell in bulk. Yeah.
What about the yogurt and the mala?
Now, the mala, we have we had our packaging machine, cup filling machine, but it reached somewhere where it arrested all its program. So we took it to Nairobi, we reprogram tena, alafu waturudishia. But at the moment we are using iron box. We use cups, we place a foil, then we still using iron box. But it works the same like those automated.
Sure, someone can measure the exact amount of yogurt. Maybe if we say you need half a liter of yogurt, someone can measure the exact amount when pouring into the.
Yeah, he cannot be exact, but almost he can be. He can measure. But we have a line. We have a graduation mark in that. When I take, let me take a cup here and show you. Like this cup, if you observe it, you have a line inside there. That's 500 level. When it's pouring and reaches there, that's 500. So you make sure that milk don't go beyond or below. Okay, that line.
That can be simpler. Any other thing, the other machine over there?
That one is an ice bank, and its work is to chill water. It chills water that we use to cool milk. Earlier on, we said we pasteurize up to 80 to 85. Then we cool to a certain temperature, maybe inoculation temperature. This is the water we use to cool that milk. So we have piping, we pump that milk inside that cajet. It pushes hot water outside, then cold water inside. Then that cold water chills the milk to whatever temperature you want. You can reduce the temperature from 85 to whatever you want, maybe 45, 30, 20, whatever. So this one chills up to 0. Or 1. So when it enters inside, it expels the hot water outside, then cold water inside.
So what happens maybe when the temperature goes below 4 degrees Celsius?
On which, maybe on water or?
When the milk is getting chilled.
So it is impossible because you need to be there observing. If you are, maybe you are preparing yogurt, you need to be keenly observing. When it reaches 45, you stop the machine, you train the milk, then you inoculate. If it goes below, maybe 38, even if you inoculate that milk, it will not ferment because the bacteria works well, temperature of 38 to 45. Below 45, there will be no activities. There will be slow in fermentation. So you expect your milk to ferment within 3 to 6 hours. You will get in 10th hour, your milk has not fermented. One, the bacteria are inferior, they are not active. But when the temperature is optimal, the multiplication of bacteria will be effective. Breakdown of lactose into lactic acid will be effective. So the milk will ferment on exact period. You expect.
What? Biology is too much here in milk. Anyway, maybe you can tell us after the packaging of the milk or yogurt or mala, how do you sell the mala?
So the first thing, after we have packaged, we have processed, has fermented, we have packaged, we store. We have our cold room inside here.
Okay.
We have our cold room inside here. So you can see inside this is our packaged yogurt we have stored ready for market.
Okay, so from here they are taken to the sales
from here we have our sales point the other side. I think you know that shop. Yeah. So but me, I don't take to the shop. Procedurally in BUKURA, after production you hand over to the store. So I deliver this milk to the stores, then the stores deliver to the sales. Then the sales, it's an account, they sell, they'll bring the returns. If there's a return, they return to the store. So we have a procedure. If I produce, I hand over to the store. Then the store generate what we call S11 to the sales.
So you're just in charge of production?
I'm in charge of production. I don't conduct any sales. In fact, I'm not allowed.
We would have taken the yogurts, but because you are in charge of production, we will have to let them be.
You do production at the same time you are selling. Yeah. It's not allowed.
At any point, does the milk get spoiled, the yogurt?
So it will depend on which level. One, on production level, we have storage level, then we have sales level. So
the milk can get spoiled at the production level.
Yeah, sometimes you can receive poor quality if you are not careful at reception. You start pasteurizing. At the middle of pasteurization, then that milk coagulates. that is spoilage. Okay? You can pasteurize milk very well, you can inoculate very well, then maybe that milk had what we call inhibitors. Maybe it had a preservative like hydrogen peroxide. That milk can't ferment. You are waiting until tomorrow it's not fermenting. That's spoiled milk, you see.
Why can't it ferment for that long time? Maybe what could be the problem, the reason why the milk fails to come?
We have several problems. One, that milk, maybe you received milk with the antibiotics. No, other farmers, they can treat the animal and they don't tell the processor that we have treated, they don't observe that withdrawal period. You know, when you treat an animal, there's that withdrawal period. You don't milk for 3 days. But a farmer cannot accept that hasara. Ana milk maziwa, anakuletea. That milk has residues of those medicines if it's an antibiotic. And what's the work of antibiotic? It kills bacteria. And your milk, you are using bacteria to ferment that milk. So what happens when antibiotic meets bacteria?
Ferment, yeah, sure, I understand that.
Yeah. So if you wait for around 2 days or 1 day waiting for the milk to ferment, that milk will spoil all along. It will not be fit for consumption.
Okay, so maybe one of the last questions is about after at the storage place, can the milk get spoiled over here?
Yeah, sometimes if this thing fails, you know, if you have prepared your yogurt, you need to maintain a refrigeration temperature of 4 to 8. But sometimes this refrigeration can fail. Maybe you don't have a backup of electricity, and it stops. Then the heat generates inside, it accumulates. Then yogurt starts to get hotter. When it goes up to 45 degrees centigrade or above, then these bacteria that are dormant, they start to be active. They now continue creating lactic acid in this milk. So if you come after 2 days, when you test that milk, it has a lot of lactic acid, it has a lot of sour taste, it cannot be consumed. So that's the effect that you can find in this nene.
So maybe apart from the cows over here that you milk, do you receive milk from other farmers outside Bukura?
We have around 5 contracted farmers who always bring their milk. They bring milk on average of around 15 to 20 liters. Yeah.
So does it mean that the milk within is not enough for the market?
In Western region, people have not embraced dairy farming. Mostly they rely on those animals, those local breeds, those kienyeji ones, whereby they don't get quantity. They get just a small amount of milk, which they cannot afford. They use as domestic, and they cannot extend by selling. Okay. Now
the last question is about the challenges faced in dairy setup. What is the biggest challenge in dairy setup?
In terms of processing or?
In terms of production, now that you're in charge of production.
Yeah, production, one, inadequate raw material, which is milk. The society has, they cannot afford to bring around 2,000 liters because this building, this factory needs around 2,000 liters per day. But we are only receiving around 150 to 500 liters, of which we have a deficit of 1,500. So that's a challenge because demand is there, there's no raw milk. Two, if somebody wants maybe to bring up such a kind of a factory, the initial capital, the capital is too high. So like in Western region, we only have BUKURA. Yeah.
Never realized that.
Yeah, in Western region, we only have BUKURA. In Bungoma, we had Kitinda, but it failed. Yeah, I think the initial capital. So if a farmer wants to add value, when he looks at the material he's supposed to have, then he shies off. Yeah.
So maybe those are the only challenges, the major ones. Okay, thank you so much. We are glad hosting you, by the way, to learn sana. Maybe. Okay.
maybe like the machines, some machines are failing. How can you handle that when you have like a lot of orders from outside from your clients? How can you handle that?
You see, when you observe very keenly, I have 3 pasteurizers. If one fails, I have alternative. Okay? If you observe keenly, I have 3 chilling tanks. If one fails, I move to another one. Okay? Like the cup filling machines, it failed. I went to manual one. So you need to have, if the machine breaks down, what can you do next? So you need to prepare yourself and equip yourself, be it manually or.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, maybe you've talked about, there's no point that the machines can break down once, like maybe the chilling tanks, the breakdowns.
You cannot break. You cannot tell me that one will break down tomorrow, the other one, the other. If one breaks down and you are using the other one, you are making an effort to prepare the broken down one. Then it stands by.
Do you have a backup, maybe energy apart from electricity?
We have a generator. We have a generator outside there, which is automated. When the lights goes off, when the electricity goes off, it picks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Najua kuna watu wengine wenu hapo nje mmeonja yogurt ya Bukura, and some of you are yet to taste the yogurt and the mala. I know you, by the way, you've said mala saizi haiko. Mbona saizi mala haiko?
No, since as you can read the moods, we are approaching a graduation ceremony, and mostly we want to fetch more profit. When you compare mala and yogurt has a little bit more profit. So tumeegemea upande wa yogurt, we are producing enough. You can confirm from our store. We are trying to swell that store so that we sell more during that graduation ceremony.
So majorly it's about the profit.
So tumeegemea huko sana, tumeegemea upande wa yogurt. So tukiprepare mala ni kidogo for local consumption hapa kidogo tu. So watu wakikuja, wale wenye wanakuja first wanapokea, inaisha, tuna prepare tena ingine kidogo. Lakini majorly tumeembark kwa yogurt.
Thank you so much. Maybe the last thing now, unaweza advise somebody mwenye anaweza taka ku have this kind of setup, like a dairy setup. Maybe unaweza mwambia one or two advice chenye maybe anafaa ku consider.
Kitu ya kwanza, ukiwa na hii, ukitaka kuanzisha ine factory, look environment. Itakupatia raw material, because you cannot have all the equipment na ukianzisha hakuna kitu na fit hizo machine. Look where there is raw material, and raw material is milk. Sawa sawa. Then 2, you need to look for expertise, because maziwa si kitu ya kucheza nayo. It can lead to a loss, na ukipata expertise itakulead into high profit. Ukipata watu wenye hawajui, utakuwa una count loss on daily basis, because maybe wa receive maziwa yenye si good quality, na una receive maybe blend of milk pengine quantity ya 2000, na mtu kwa sababu hajui maziwa mzuri ana receive maziwa kidogo na haribu. So on daily will encourage losses. So look for expertise. Alafu side, look for market. Jaribu kuangalia market iko namna gani, then maintain the good quality, utamanage.
Thank you so much, by the way. Tumeshukuru for having you, and I know some of you wenye wamesha onja yogurt ni kazi yake, and I know some of you out there you like the yogurt, na you guys continue coming to Bukura Agricultural College, mpurchase your yogurt, mkunywe. You've seen the area, by the way, it's very conducive for milk production. And lastly, maybe tunaweza before nimalize na nitamaliza kweli, nimekuwa kama pasta nasema namaliza. Okay, by the way, kwa milking nimeona majorly maybe the students wenye wana trend wana milk. So is it maybe you are affecting anyway huku hivi maybe milking wa milk na vitu chafu? Unajua student ataifanya for maybe performance yake huko hivyo, ama our milk na vitu chafu? No, sasa when it comes to routine practice kwa wanafunzi, hawa milk ng'ombe zote. Kuna zile ng'ombe wameselect for training, so ni kiasi, so long as pia hapo unajua kitu ya kwanza, and then the core function is to train hapa, but at the same time tuko commercial. Sawa sawa. So ng'ombe zile high producers hizo zinakamuliwa na machine,
lakini zile zenye low production but tunataka tufunze pia wanafunzi wetu wakitoka hapo wako na ujuzi, tuna select ng'ombe kama 5-6 zenye wanachifunzia, lakini wasi affect the commercial part because it's also our core function apart from training.
Thank you so much. Kama uko pale nje uja test yogurt, come over to Bukura Agricultural College, test yogurt. Kuna mala, there's fresh milk. Kama unataka kuanza sales za yogurt within Western, maybe uko Kakamega, kuna fresh milk hapa at a very cheap price. It I mentioned, kuja ujikonfirmie, come and purchase this yogurt, please, please, please. And lastly, subscribe to WCJ Online TV. Until next time, bye bye.
Welcome to Bukura Agricultural College. This is the yogurt plant na tumemaliza our questions na kutembelea hapa. Tumejua, tumeangalia about production. Hatujatoka bure, tumepatiwa hapa yogurt na nimetest, ni very 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 sweet and very very fine. Ukikunywa unatamani tu ukunywe ukiendelea. So karibu sana mkunywa yogurt Bukura Agricultural College and you will feel the nice taste. I tell you, I can test to that. Thank you.